Welcome back to Meg's Mysteries. Whispers of the Dead, a murder mystery. Anna Rose Templeton here, and I'm the head coroner at St. Augustine's Hospital. I work closely with the police department and on some of their strange homicide cases. It was a slow week, and a new case just came in on my table, and I knew it was murder. My connection to the department is Sergeant Peter Malloy and his partner, Tony Martini. We have been working together for about 2 years on some hairy cases. In our professions, we have found people can be downright horrible monsters, even if they're just humans. What horrible things they can commit and feel nothing about it. It's our job and our life's work to see that we catch them and put them away, for good. I could speak for the dead. I hear their whispers. They don't get up and talk to me. They only whisper their messages before they can pass on. Only one other person knows my secret, and it's Peter. I've helped on so many cases with him, with my inside information, from beyond the grave, so to speak. Not even Tony's partner knows my special talent. Talking to the dead does get a frown or two, but Peter has always believed in me, and we crack many cases together. The last case will take both our specialties to catch this killer or killers. The body of a young man in his late 20s or early 30s showed up on my table. Right away I knew it was murder, but how and why? There was no trace of injury on the surface. The body looked like he was sleeping, almost angelic and peaceful looking to him. I was called to the scene where he was found earlier, in a church not far from the hospital. He was dead only about 4 hours, I could tell by the body temp. I couldn't tell anything more at the scene, so we're here getting ready to autopsy him. My 2 assistants, Lou and Gregory, were getting my equipment ready for the autopsy when Peter came in to fill me in on what he knew already. The body was found by the priest. He called it in. It just looked like he was praying. His eyes were closed and he was kneeling with his hands in prayer. The priest said he wasn't moving for a long time, so he asked if he needed any help, and he found out he was dead. And he called it in to the police. I asked everyone to leave me alone with the body before we autopsy him. This is one of the things I do. I pray over the bodies before we start. Everybody knows this and respects me for it. But really, I do it so they can talk to me. I touched his cold face. I waited, and then I heard a slight whisper in my ear. He's here with me now. His message to me was, "Someone killed me. No idea why. You must find them and stop them." I asked, "Who are you?" A moment later I hear, "My name is Michael Beck. I was an actor. Why did they kill me?" I told him I'll find out and I will find them. Then he was gone for now. Nothing but the quiet in the room, only the humming of the lights. I asked Peter to come back in and told him what I heard. The name he gave me, but it wasn't much to go on. Peter said he'll check it out. At least they can find out who he was. It's a start, Peter said. He went back with his partner to see what they can find out about Michael Beck and why he had to die. Lou and Gregory came in and we started the autopsy and toxicology test. While we worked, Peter found out a lot of information. Michael was a young actor in a play. He was playing the part of a young priest in The Right Path. It had just opened up 2 weeks ago. So was that the connection to the church? We had little to nothing to go on. The autopsy, I had a closer look and found red swelling in his mouth and around his lips. How did I miss that? I guess I just saw the angelic sleeping face that I looked at the first time. But now I know it was poison. But what kind? The toxicology lab will have to tell us. The other question was why and who. Toxicology said it'll take a day or two to find out what poison was used. So we'll wait, and maybe he'll whisper something else to me in the meantime. Now I sadly put him away in the drawer next to the other dead. I called Peter to update him on what I found, and also what he learned. Peter and Tony went to get more information and talk to his parents. They hated this part of the job, but it has to be done, and they were professionals, but it's never easy. They talked to his friends and co-workers and everyone that was with the play, and how everybody was in contact with him. They all loved him, his father said. He had many friends. He was just a talented young man. How could this happen? They all agreed this was a senseless crime, and that good people are always taken away too soon, and he was one of them. A week later, 2 more bodies on my tables showed up at the same sign of poisoning. One young man in his late 20s, early 30s, Jean LeCaire, and a young writer, Robert Langley, both young, blonde, handsome, all talented young men. And strangely, they all looked amazingly like the first victim. A week later, my latest victim turned up, a singer, James Powell. Peter and Tony did their investigation, and I did my autopsy test on them. They were all killed with cantonella poison, an ancient poison used in the Renaissance era, 1480s to the 1500s, the time of the famous poisoness Lucretia Borgia. You might have heard about her and her murderous family. But why use such an ancient method of murder? This poison could be used in drinks, food, powdered form on clothes or books, or anything a person can come in contact with. Has no taste and no odor. The Borgias made this from arsenic, from the blister beetles. It is a variation of arsenic, but it has components remains unknown to all. So how did the killer make it? Till this day, it's all unknown. It can be made to kill in a day, a week, or up to a year, depending on the doses used. It causes confusion, vomiting, stomach pains. It can mimic several diseases. But why this method, and why these young look-alike men? And how do we find a serial killer or killers? Well, with the help of the dead and their whispers. All the victims got a chance to tell me what they knew. Michael Beck, the actor, he was confused at first, but then he let me know he had met a young lady after the play, and they went for drinks. A day later, he was so sick he couldn't do the play. She called on him at home, and she brought him some soup. And that's all he knew. He just passed out. How he got to the church, he couldn't tell me. The only thing was she was a dark-haired beauty, small and delicate. And that's all I got from him. The artist, Jean LeCoeur, he was painting with a model who sounded just like the girl Michael had described, the one he had drinks with. Jean had a bad habit of putting his paintbrush in his mouth. She used to tease him about it. They worked together for 2 weeks. He became deathly sick, and she came by to help him, she said. But he was in a confused state. When he saw her, she just got up and left with the unfinished painting, and then he died. Police got called in from his neighbor, and he was found in the room with the paintbrush still in his mouth. The writer, Robert Langley, was found with his pen in hand, paper laced with white powder. His message to me was, "She was so nice, she wanted to see some of my work." And he described her as the dark-haired beauty the others had described. The singer, James Powell, said the same girl. He met her 3 weeks ago. They had many dinners and drinks together. Then he started feeling sick after his last set. She was sitting in the audience, and she helped him home. He was found dead the next day by his friends. They all were connected to a mysterious, dark-haired murderess. Peter and Tony and the other detectives set up a decoy, a blond young man, a twin look-alike to the victims. Hope this works. He'll be a model looking for work. All victims had the same look and the same choice of professions, all young, up-and-coming men, actors, artists, writers, and singers. Our big break, the killer took the bait. The model was contacted by text and hired, so he went to her studio, Melinda Borg photo studio. She tried to get him to drink something to relax before the photo shoot. He made believe he drank it. And then he said, "I'm getting dizzy," and he started falling over. She just started to laugh and said, "You are perfect, just like the others." Then the police broke in. Peter and Tony told her rights and cuffed her. She screamed in a crazy rage as they took her away. "I have to finish my work. I have to kill them all." At the station, she confessed it all. When questioned, she told them the whole sick story. "I'm descendant of the Borgias," she said. "I have a book of their poisons from their family, the secret recipe for their ancient poisons." We didn't know what to believe. Maybe she was, or maybe she was just sick in her mind. But how did she get the book and the know-how to make the poison? The composition of the poison was unknown and only to the Borgias. She then said her brother Francis Borg had died too young. He was into the arts in the theater. He wanted to be an actor or an artist, but he died from an unknown illness. So why should these men live their dreams? I had to cut their lives short, just like my poor brother. We exhumed his body and found out he was also poisoned by her. She wouldn't tell us why she had killed her own brother. Maybe she just couldn't help herself. She was certified insane and a murderess. All she said was, "It runs in the family. The Borgias live on," as she was taken away. In the end, we put her away and closed the cases, with the help from the whispers of the dead. So all of you listen closely to the whispers. Someone might be telling you something that could save your life. Hope you enjoyed this one. Remember, come back next time for more of Meg's Mysteries.